Did you hear that Destiny Rise did not meet its profit margins? Y'all find me an article on that. I thought it said that it doesn't have data based on Mumu, which is probably like a huge portion of the player base. Destiny Rising only made 9 million. Yeah, but like, again, it clearly states it doesn't have Mumu's data. Let me pull this up. All right, so from Paul Tastic here, who is Destiny Rising's audience? Not enough people, says Revenue Reports. And this was published a few days ago. Destiny 2 fans have been pleasantly surprised by Destiny Rising, the new mobile game that plays very well for a shooter on that platform and has a number of innovative ideas that are outclassing at least the current state of Destiny. But the limited appeal of the franchise outside of Destiny 2 player base and the fraction of that Destiny 2 player base, which will give a mobile gacha a chance, may have produced a game that is going to ultimately underperform in the mobile space. Analytics firm from Sensor Tower has now estimated via the game post that the game has about 2 million downloads and 9 million in revenue in its first 3 weeks. That compares unfavorably to something like Diablo Immortal, which had 13 million downloads and 39 million in revenue around the same time. Now, there are some catches here, with some platforms not counted and the game not being released in the Chinese markets, though Diablo Immortal was not released in China at launch either. Why wouldn't they release it to China? What's the reason for not releasing this to China? So daily net revenues of selected mobile games by days after launch. So here's D Rising, substantially lower Call of Duties and Diablo Immortals. 9 million in revenue for a mobile gacha game, a genre which pulls far more money out of players than most others, is not great. Ironically, gacha players believe that part of this is that Destiny Rising is too generous with its microtransactions with guaranteed character pools after a certain amount of time. And the rug has not been pulled there yet in terms of making that stingier. That could change, but for now it hasn't. If it does, that would likely mean fewer players, not more. Yeah, I would say, I think Imtash even made a video, or maybe at least he's made comments online about it, that the gacha system for D Rising is generous. I feel like you can actually be like a complete free-to-play player and still walk away with 5 stars, still have a good gaming experience, and don't necessarily have to buy anything. I have not spent a penny, and I have Tantu, Ning, and Estella. That's pretty good. The problem here isn't really gacha generosity, or certainly not the quality of the game, which is shockingly good, but it's what I said a long time ago when it was first revealed, which was that it was going to be very hard to find an audience for this. Dude, imagine if this thing had dropped, I don't know, around Final Shape. You know what I'm saying? Maybe even around Witch Queen. You just had so many more eyes on Destiny. And you saw that even, you know, during the day one release peaks. And so I'm not saying that's the only reason why this game is suffering here, but it's dropping at a time where I would say Destiny's player base is more fatigued than ever before. And so it's just like widespread apathy. And like I'm saying, like had this dropped around, you know, maybe Final Shape, and then really, you know, had you had all the people playing Destiny at that moment, I think it would have helped at least. When the audience you're advertising to only knows Destiny and the message is in, only Destiny players would give it a try mostly. Otherwise, most would avoid thinking it's more of the same Destiny 2. Now, unlike a game like Diablo, Destiny does not have widespread global appeal on that level. And to be a success, this had to be a Destiny game for mobile fans, not a mobile game for Destiny fans, because the latter would simply not produce enough players to make the concept viable. Destiny 2 players are already leaving the main game in droves, but again, it's a small portion of players here who are leaving Destiny 2 for Destiny Rising, or trying to juggle both. The result is a mobile game that appeals to a very slim audience, a fraction. And the long-established gacha market is incredibly hard to break into. Destiny Rising also has little waifu appeal, which sounds like a joke, but genuinely helps. Yeah, I mean, you got Gwen. I mean, Paul's making a good point. No, he is making a good point, guys. Waifus do sell. It doesn't hurt. It doesn't hurt. I play Genshin Impact, and I love listening to Lisa say good morning. We play that audio so much.
Ohayo, Jin. あら? ごめんなさい。見間違えちゃった。
I'm not saying you should go straight goon. You don't know gooner on this shit. You don't want to fucking... There is a sweet spot. You don't want to go so far in the direction of like the First Ascendant. You know what I'm saying? I enjoyed First Ascendant, but they really have gone, you know what I mean? Like, you know, is jiggle physics good? Yeah, it's pretty nice. I won't hate on it. But I mean, like, that they really leaned heavily into that. Yeah, I don't know. Like, if Destiny Rising dropped Mara as a 5-star, maybe you could put Mara in a swimsuit. I don't think it would hurt. You know what I'm saying? Back to Mara and I'm sold. Paul continues, I do not think that Destiny Rising is shutting down tomorrow, but we have seen many other big games attempting to head to mobile where it simply doesn't work, from Call of Duty to Apex Legends. At this point, it's a little hard to see a bright future for Destiny Rising if these are the initial figures or even close to them, which is a shame given its quality. But the audience just isn't the size it needs to be. Man, dude. I feel like Destiny just needs more pull, like just more mass appeal, more more pool. I feel like it needs its version of like an Arcane show. You know what I'm saying? Or an Edge Runner. I remember that originally they were supposed to be making that. But I gotta say, like, I can't hate on Destiny Rising because it just dropped at a terrible time in Destiny history. Just take a look at the day one numbers for Destiny 2 Edge of Fate in comparison to Final Shape. We clocked over 300,000 concurrent on Steam. We barely clocked over 100,000 on Steam for Edge of Fate. You just don't have as many people playing Destiny right now, or even that interested in playing Destiny. Yeah, that probably, if it dropped on console, it would do well. I would still like to see a Destiny Rising natively be brought to PC with its own client and brought to consoles. Yeah. If they made a Destiny animated show with the right quality, boom. Yeah. Yeah. I mean, look, I used to play League many years ago. Had no desire to really return to League, but Arcane was good enough that it would make you re-download League. And so there's something to be said about if you deliver correctly. Like if you deliver correctly, it can put you, it has that wide, like look at the Fallout show. You know what I mean? I thought Bethesda had just shit the bed and just couldn't make good video games anymore. And look, we'll still see what happens. They didn't even make the remaster for Oblivion, but the Fallout show, it popped. Edge Runners, same situation, man. Although I was still going to play Cyberpunk with the DLC that was rolling out, and like CD Projekt Red just kept like, they got it there, man. They pulled their sleeves up and they just kept hitting it, but it didn't hurt it at all. I was watching Edge Runners while playing Cyberpunk for the first time, while playing also the DLC, and man, it was a triple whammy for me. I was getting hit on all levels. Like talk about like complete minds being submerged into this world. You know, when you go play Warframe right now, you can play all of the content. Number one, you can play it all for free. Number two, you have everything. Everything Warframe and DE has ever made, it's there, right there for you to play. Great storylines. And I'm talking like AAA quality stories. Problem is Bungie has cut out too much stuff from Destiny. And I feel like, you know, removing narrative, I don't think Bungie just realizes like how important an overarching narrative really is to onboarding a player. You know what I mean? Like there's only so much a player can do to bridge that gap. You can only watch so many lore videos, and it's also difficult to, when somebody's like, I'm going to pick up Destiny, what should I play? And it's like, I wish I could recommend previous campaigns, but they're not there. Instead, you know, recommend a YouTube video, which is fine. We can all watch Bife, but then it's like people, if they're trying to get certain context, they don't have it. Starting the Game and Red War campaign was a great start for new players. I would say this, we've talked about Destiny 3 a bunch of the past, and I know this is supposed to be a conversation about Destiny Rising, but they kind of go hand in hand, because I think if Destiny does really well, Destiny Rising could do well, and vice versa. But for me, a true Destiny 3 would be a game that can be built on forever. If there was a point in the future where D3 was ever a thing, it would be a game that none of the content will be removed. It's created with the long term in mind, and it is an onboarding point for all players to jump in and experience all of the narratives. I think narrative is just too important. It's too important to not have. I doubt telling a new player to play 10 campaigns would help either. Yeah, I don't know, man. Maybe it just needs to start with, you know, I don't know. Like, I don't know where, oh man, people are going to hate this idea. What if Destiny just started over, but from Destiny 1 and just started over, but nothing ever got removed? Like D1, but with our current core systems and subclasses, like the storyline, the whole game. What if Destiny started completely over and the whole game you launch as if it's vanilla Destiny 1 and you have access to every destination, at least at that time, and any destinations that roll out afterwards? I also just don't think that's, I don't know. People are not going to want to do Taken King again, probably. I mean, we say that because we have nostalgia, but I don't know if people would want to do the Taken King again or Rise of Iron. You think they would? But what about the shitty expansions? Would you want to do Curse of Osiris again? I just feel like I would probably do it. Like I would probably take a relaunch of Destiny if it was launched in a way where Bungie's like, hey, listen, the way Destiny's being built now, nothing will be removed. And essentially just kind of take a page out of Warframe's book. I mean, like everything stays in the game. It's going to be a very large fucking game. But if you missed out on Destiny 1 or beginning of Destiny 2 and never played these things, they'll be there. Also holding back on info. I've got nothing on this. If you think Bungie is working on this in the background and I would fucking spill the beans on this shit. You hear me? As much as you guys bitch, I would have already fucking caved. And I got nothing. I fucking wish, dude. I fucking wish I somehow had information on this. But nah, dude, I haven't heard anything like this.
Slap that like button like your mama told you right.